Everybody, it's Lynn Rene MacDonald for Facebook Live Talk Forum with me. All right, I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to come in. I'm going to light some sage. I'm coming to you live from the Institute for Christ Consciousness. We're going to do some awesome discussions today about a bunch of different things that universe is guiding me to, or God or love is guiding me to speak to everybody about, or teach and learn for all of us, not just you guys, but for me too. And we're coming to you live from the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for coming. I'm super grateful. I'm just going to light some sage, and we're here in Virginia Beach, and you can come here live at any time. You can also come and visit our shop and center here in Virginia Beach as well. And tonight we're going to answer some questions again. I'm going to answer some questions as we do. You can do 5-minute readings, which my sister kind of coined the phrase for. You can do a lot of other really cool stuff, like ask any questions that you have. It can be metaphysical, any kind of metaphysical, spiritual questions about angels, about ghosts, about your house, where you're going to move to, personal stuff in your life, what's going on, anything and everything across the board that you can think of. This is a question and answer forum as well as a learning and teaching forum to help everybody and assist everybody in these times, and to teach from love, and to get the God's honest truth of the answers to everything in your life from the highest knowing of love, or Christ consciousness, the purest form of love. And that's what we do and teach here at the Institute for Christ Consciousness. And thanks for coming. Hi, Steve. Thanks for making it. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody on the internet who's coming today as well. And I'm just it's a little hot in here. I'm adjusting my temperature. So I've got my lavender oil for being calm, right? This is great for calming as well as releasing stuff that's toxic. We've talked about that in the past as well. And for now, I'm just going to light some sage and give it a few minutes. If you guys got questions or anything you want to talk about for discussion today, please, please, please put it out there, right? And we will work on that now. And clear that energy out that just created whatever this just was here. We had a little bit of a noisy interruption. It's kind of crazy. So anybody have any questions or topics? And you too, Steve, if there's anything anybody out here would like to discuss, please do. All right, I'm just going to do my sage. And sage is great for clearing. I have sage like everywhere I go. I keep it in my car when I travel. Sage is great for getting the energy off of you. So we can talk about being an empath. We can talk about clearing energy. We can talk about our health issues. We can talk about your pets, right? So this is really a higher knowing of love energy or God to teach people and help and assist from love in these times, so that you can get the questions answered as well as the tools to live your greatest life. So thank you all for coming. I'm just going to take a minute and we're going to go from here. Rachel, would you like some sage?
Yes, please. Also, Christina, Teresa, and Sarah, I'll say hello.
Okay. Hi, Christina, Teresa, and Sarah. Hello. Thank you. It's been a wild week. We may even talk about that today, but we may put it on hold. I just got to kind of talk to Spirit. If it's what's best, it'll come out. That's what I say. Every time we do these classes or these sessions or anything in my life, I'm always talking to love or God. That's what we do and teach. So I'm basically like everybody who knows the phrase, Jesus, take the wheel, right? I'm always like, all right, when I'm having really big crisis, I always say, Jesus, take the wheel. Just do your thing, right? I also ask love to speak through me and ask love to handle it, whatever it is. And for the God's honest truth and all the gifts and tools and everything that I need in these times and in my life. So I'm always in alignment with the purest form of love, right? So hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm just going to get a sip here.
Christina says it was a crazy week.
It was a crazy week. So Christina, you want to share anything with us? And everybody else too, because we are all going through this. With this energy that's in the stars. Stars, I'm talking about astrology, in the sky, in the galaxy, right? This is all energy, right? And this is basically the catalyst for everything that's happening in the world today, okay? So it's been a crazy week for everybody. Has to do with South Node, North Node, and all the other things that we are placements. as well as everything in astrology has everything to do with that, what's going on. And we are all going through major challenges, as well as great things are happening for us too. Like a associate and friend of mine just got married and bought a house, and this is return karma. That's South Node, North Node, Sagittarius, Gemini, and whatever houses that you have it in, but it's going to affect you everywhere in your life, especially where you have those energies. So that said, when you said it's been a crazy week, it absolutely has. I've been challenged with a whole bunch of stuff myself, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, guided by the stars. So many of you will find health crises, mental health crises, challenges, really big stuff, because this is the stuff that has to leave our souls so we can move forward and in all that we are, be free of the toxic, so we can move forward and live our greatest lives. Go ahead.
Christina said that she works in an elementary school, and that was crazy. The poor kids were out of control, and also the craziness was the things they're trying to mandate on the schools with the kids and everything.
Yeah. I hear you, Christina. Christina was talking about the schools, how she works in the schools, and the kids were kind of crazy, and with all the mandates, and I'm sure the masking and the vaxxing policies, which as we all know, are just unbelievable times, everything that's happening in here in these times, right? So it makes sense to me that these challenges are here, right? The bottom line is, all these systems, from the schools to the medical field to the government, everything has to be revamped, changed to a higher knowing of love, and we're all going through this on a personal level in our souls, in our bodies, our minds, our spirits, and out here, all right, in Earth world, right? All that we are in our spirit. So when I say spirits, I'm talking about our energy and all that we are, all these things, okay? Also, in this particular case, I'm sure it's been a crazy week. Also, and to speak of the crazy week and to relate to you, from what I understand, they had a debate here in Virginia with the governors, and I think it was, what was his name, Governor Newsom? McCullough.
I think it's McCullough and Youngkin that are debating.
It's Youngkin, and they're both candidates for governor?
I believe so.
Yeah. Terry McAuliffe, and the other gentleman is Youngkin, and McAuliffe was saying how he supports, the mandates that are going on, and he supports that the school system should decide what is best for your kid, what school programs and all that stuff. And really, that's not truth of love energy at all, right? You as the parent should be the person deciding this from love in the purest form. It's one thing if you're not mentally capable of that, but the government, meaning the cities, the states, right, the counties, and the actual government itself and anything associated with this has no business controlling our education for ourselves and for our children. And so this is causing all kinds of rifts, boom, 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 and stuff like that for the people out here in Virginia. But it's going to be interesting to see who wins these elections, just like in California, because you're going to be able to know more and more. The truth just keeps coming out about our country being taken over, right? And the truth about it, for you to see here in Earth world, right? When I say our country being taken over, you can see the toxic that's going on. So, and how things aren't in the way that we're led to believe that they are, right? So this is what we're talking about here. So these are challenges because what you have is darkness and light, really. All right, and this is the battle of that. Many of you, as your gifts are opening up and we go higher in consciousness here in Earth world, right? You're going to be seeing things metaphysically that you've never seen before. Things like dark angels. You're going to feel them around you, right? Just dark energies as well, and the energy can affect you. So remember that. All right. So just be aware of what's really going on. Hey, is it Leisha? Hi, Leisha. Good to see you. I'm glad you can make it. Excuse me. Anyway, so, was that you two back there, Molly?
Yes.
Hi, Molly. Glad you can make it. Thank you all for coming. Thanks. So, just be aware because your gifts are growing and the world is opening up and changing. And this is really a battle about dark and light, really. If you look at it in metaphysically, and when you take a look at it in Earth world, behind the scenes, there's all this toxic going on in Earth world. And there's many responsible for this. And it's, like everybody, there's truths in everything. So you'll hear about elites, you'll hear about China, you'll hear about, you'll see who supports what. And there is the truth right there in earth world, right? Right. So if I supported these things, I'd be talking about them. I'd be saying them. I'd be doing that kind of a program instead of this one, right? But where I come from is being guided from the purest form of love. And this is where the world is going. This is why I'm here. This is why you guys are here. And we're all here. I learn just as much from these Facebook lives at our institute here. I learn just as much every time I talk to universe, every time I talk to God, every time I teach and work with you guys and do these shows and in my events, right? I learn just as much, right? Because the bottom line is I'm a person too, right? Because we're all people first, right? Okay, so thank you for coming. If you have any questions, let me know. Tell me about your week if you want to discuss it. So everybody, it helps everybody relate to what's going on in their life, you know? Because we're all going through challenges. I talked about it last week with my one daughter. This week I had 2 health crises myself, and they're very long, meaning there's a lot going on with them. So I'm going to talk about this possibly later or into the future, because I'm getting pieces of the God's honest truth in my reality, right? The whole story, just like you are out here in Earth World, because it's not what people say, it's what people do, but it is also what they say. Do their words back up what they are doing over and over? Every time, you know, you look at the past stuff about, let's use Joe Biden as an example of what he has done. Is he keeping his word? You know, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, right? So is he doing what he said he was going to do? And then what is he doing that we had no idea he was going to do? And how are things changing? Because the truth of God is in everything. The truth of love is in everything. It's in our reality by what people do, right? So I have some friends who used to be my friends who are no longer my friends now. And I've kind of made that clear to them. However, all right, hi, Mad. Hi, Sophie. Thanks for coming. Hi, thank you. All right, so, but back to what I was talking about, I have some friends from the past, and I think we've talked about this, we're dumping people who are not our people, right, who no longer serve us, and they say, oh yeah, they're going to do good things for us, and they're going to do great things, but when it comes down to it, they're not doing what they said they were going to do. You're not in alignment, and it doesn't mean necessarily that you have to get shitty with them or toxic. Ask love how to handle it. Ask love to handle it through you. Ask love to speak through you, and that's how you handle everything. Ask love to be free of them, and ask love to clear in you whatever is like them in you, that is this energy that is unwell, unhealthy, and is all this energy, and put the best way to be in place of this in your soul and in all you are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is in the best way for us and all, or something better. So thank you. And everybody who, any more people sharing stuff that to discuss?
Yeah, first off, Angela and Nikki both say hello. Nikki says she hopes everyone's okay and she loves us all.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Angela. Thank you for coming. And thank you, Nikki, for asking about me, too. We are hanging in there, right? I'm going through a health crisis in these times, but I've known about this. This is Capricorn moon for me, and this is kind of like a physical earth world dark night of the soul. I actually asked universe if I should do this one tonight or if I should cancel, and I said, whatever is best, God, from love, let's do it. And if it's not best for me and my best health from love, then let me, tell the people that we're not going to do it, right? So this is a health crisis that I'm going through, which is really because one of the reasons is I take all my emotions and I have massive amounts of Aries energy in me, and so I power through shit, right? And this is about me releasing all this old stuff, having this Aries energy. I stomp things, and Aries are really known for having tons of energy. They're the warriors, and they travel through things, right? They get the job done in Earth World, but a lot of times they don't feel stuff in the best, healthiest way, and they stomp on it or they put it over here, right? And then we bring in, and that's where we bring in my Capricorn moon, because it's where I'm burying all the deepest, darkest shit in the layers of the earth energy. Capricorn is earth energy, right? In my physical body, and Capricorn governs earth world, right? And karma in earth world, right? So this makes total sense. So any of you have lots of moon characteristics, you may find yourself doing this as well, burying shit in your physical body. And this has gone on for lifetimes, and I've come in here in this lifetime to heal this in me. So my physical body is going through a massive crisis, as well as all of me, right? And what am I doing? I'm praying the whole time, because that's what I do and teach, and that is the answer from love. You ask love. What is prayer? I'm not talking about your traditional prayer, but you can also do that as well. That's never going to be harmful as long as your heart is in the right place. What I'm talking about is the prayer work or the communication work that we teach from love, working with God, working with love. Thanks, love, for this for me, as we do in all our other sessions and all our shows as well. We keep bringing this up as well to remind people to do this work and see how I do it firsthand as well. Okay, so Nikki, that's what's been going on. I had 2 health crises this week. I'm working through this, and hopefully I won't have to go and have any more trauma, but I know where spirit is guiding me, and that's the good news, right? But that's what we're all here to do. The more we work with spirit, the more we talk to spirit, the more we know the direction we're going in. And even though this is scary for me, especially in my human being people space, I'm like, shit, I'm like, this is happening, that's happening, because my health has been a fuck storm lately, right? So I'm like, oh my God, this is happening, right? How do I handle this? Well, I give it to God. Okay, love, clear this out, right? And I ask them, what do I do? How do I handle this? How do I heal me? Or do I need to go to the hospital? Do I need to go to the doctors? What tests do I need, right? So I ask love for everything I need, as well as I get guided by doing everything from higher knowing in the purest form, or love in the purest form, for what exactly is going on with me. So I know, right? But the challenge for me this week with all this has been getting it to get done in Earthworld, right? Because I can't get prescriptions that I need right away because I don't have the credentials in Doctor World, right? They're not listening to me, right? So these are my challenges. And it's even in my chart where it says Earthworld medicine will not help me. They will not be able to help me. Why? Because I'm not fucking from Earthworld. For Pete's sake, right? So I'm sure many of you have these challenges, but this is all my personal challenges from past lifetimes to present day now, right? And this is what I've signed on to heal. So even when I think it should be one way and I pray for something one way, I'm always working with God and universe because I've signed on for this soul's journey, right? And this is how it truly works. So when I could say, well, fuck, I shouldn't be sick right now because I'm always talking to God, I'm always gifted, right? But this is in alignment with everything that I've asked God for. So that's what I do, and that's how I get the information. I ask love, what's the truth here? Do you see? So we're all going through crazy stuff like this, all right? So, and this is all in this energy of these times, because you can't stay on the planet if you don't do your spiritual work, and if you can't rise on the vibration. It's both done subconsciously, consciously. We're being culled in the stars, and it's always a better ride or the best experience it can be for you, even if it isn't in alignment with exactly how you think it should be, right? Because I didn't say, oh God, I want to be sick today. Fuck no, and it pisses me off when I'm sick, or because I feel like, oh my God, I'm not independent and I don't want anybody caring for me. Again, that's that Aries bullshit energy that I got, that's like, oh, I can't have people do this, or I need to do this myself, and wanting things my way, right? So universe is like, let's talk about control. Let's talk about these things that are in me that need to be released and are toxic, right? So this big fuck storm that's happening to me is happening to all of us, and it's all in our charts, right? You're going to find it all in the transit, especially in your OG or your original astrology chart, right? And we will get more into this into the future as we do these shows and a lot of other stuff. So I just, every week, I'm going to see if we can't talk a little bit about what's going on with each of us so that everybody can relate and knows why what's going on is going on. You know, there'll be maybe a 10 or 15 minute segment in here after we do the introduction, and universe may skip it around, but what's for sure is that we're going to get the best learning from love. We're going to have the best time, and we're going to laugh, and it's going to be the greatest it can be. And thank you, God, for that for us, right? For all of us. All right. So who else wants to share some of their stories? Anybody in the audience today about what's happening to them this week? And I will get into it more in the future because there's a lot more that I'm going to get into in what exactly is going on. But I want to focus on this for now. So anybody in the audience have stuff? How about you, Leisha? Any crises for you this week or the last few weeks?
Mine has been mostly related to releasing control of things.
Here she goes, Aries energy, talking about control. And if you could please speak up. We don't have a microphone yet. Okay. We had one, but it's not functioning. Figures, right? That's Uranus, right? Technology issues. Go ahead.
So I've been creating a lot of blockages in my life at this point due to the need to control the details. And it's not even the details. I want to control the win. I'm very impatient, and I want everything now. And I'm like, I was thinking about it today, that how I feel like, you know, it's kind of like right before Christmas. I know it's coming to me, and I'm very excited for it, but it's like a little kid. You know Christmas, and you can say, okay, it's this many days away. So you can kind of, you can exist with it because you're like, okay, I know I only have to go another week. I only have to go another 6 days. Whereas right now I'm like, Is it a couple of weeks? Is it a couple of months? Is it going to be more than a year? And that part of that not knowing is like totally just screwing with my brain.
Right. Well, and that's the same thing with me. It's very similar thing with me in the energy of this health stuff. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to be well like yesterday. I'm pissed off about it. I want what I want, and I'm angry, right? And I'm like, holy shit, I didn't realize I even had half of this shit buried in me, or half of these beliefs that are all tied up in this. So I want what I want done, and that's the American way, really. I want the pill that's going to make me better now. And am I really being responsible for my best health? And do you see what I'm saying? And so this is about letting go of attachments, letting go, and trusting universe that we ask and we receive, and we're all going through it in some way, shape, or form. And it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, it totally is. So I'm going to ask universe to do a prayer to release all this. Is this good for you? Yeah. Unless you want to add more stuff or to it, or anything else you want to add verbally to it. Anything else you want to say?
No, not really. Just I need to let the shit go, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know it, right? And whatever's blocking us from letting it go, clear, change all energy that is all of this in all of us, that stops us, that is all this in our souls. Let us be free of it, and in all it is, and all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is. Let clear, and change all this in all of us. And in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. So this will do this energetically for all of us. So whether you realize the prayer is being answered or not, it's happening both subconsciously, consciously, and in all that you are, body, mind, soul, spirit, and everything, and for you and for all of us. So this energy is happening. You will be releasing it. You will notice these experiences, if you don't already now and into the future, if you reach out and grab this energy and say, thanks, love, for this for me. Thanks, God, for this prayer for me. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't impose my shit on anyone. It's there. I send it out to you. If you want it, you reach out, you grab it, say, thanks, love, and your soul creates what it is that needs to happen to heal you. And sometimes you got to go through some stuff in Earth World, like me with my health, with you, with your stuff, in the experiences that you're having, All right. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. Awesome. All right. Ray, you have somebody?
I do have a few different things going on.
Okay.
Tamika, first off, says hello.
Hi, Tamika. Great. Thanks for coming.
And Angela says that she just started drinking the pine needle tea.
Angela. Oh, good. Isn't it great? Oh, my God. The pine needle tea. Right? All right. So, a universe has told us one of the things to help you not get the effects of shedding and with the vaccine stuff going on, right? Of course, again, I can't claim that it does anything here in Earth World because there's all this toxic in Earth World belief systems, but I'm being guided with spirit to share the pine needle tea to help protect you against COVID stuff, everything to do with that and the toxic that's out there that is related to this, okay, in health ways, in physical body and in your health, okay? So I'm being guided, was guided with that to share that. And Angela said she had already been taking it. Now, this doesn't mean you go and pull pine needles off of your trees, right? Ask God for the best source and place to buy it from. Ask love. It may very well be in your yard, right? But make sure you validate things with universe and so that and research it so that you in Earth World, right? You want to balance the Earth World and metaphysical for your best health. So you're sure that you what? Know. You can also ask me about it as well. So where we got ours was from somewhere in Bulgaria, which is kind of neat, where they're farming this pine needle tea, and I'll let you guys know. We can also buy it in my shopping center or in our shopping center as well. So, and we do mail, right? But the pine needle tea, since you brought it up, which is awesome, right, is fantastic. We all had tried some in our family this week, and we were drinking it. And the cool thing about pine needle tea is it's extremely healing. It's the purest form of love. It's called pine needle tea because pine needle is what? Christmas time. Christmas tree, Christ energy. Christ energy is what? Love. Christ was a love energy prophet, and that's why it's healing. So you're literally drinking a cup of love, and you're healing yourself metaphysically and physically in this space when you drink it. You can have 2 to 3 cups a day, and what's wild about it, this is all the information universe guides me to tell and share with you about this pine needle tea and how healthy and healing it is for everybody. Okay, but those are the messages that they told me. But also when you taste it, it's not like I thought it might smell or be awful or not taste good and taste like a Christmas tree, right? But it doesn't taste like a Christmas tree at all. In fact, what it tastes like is like the soft essence of like a whole pine needle forest, like in the middle of like, you know, where the northern lights are, like up in Alaska and shit, like a massive pine needle forest, you know, and it smells great. And when you drink it, it literally lifts you up and makes you feel better. It's pretty amazing. And it's used for many different things. It has a lot of vitamin A. It's great for your circulation, your blood, your health, as well as your moods. The minute you drink this tea, and if you tell me if you don't experience it, right? You'll feel love come over you and like heal you. It's really pretty cool. When I say heal you, it means, you know, not exactly like one would think in traditional earth world ways, but when I say healing, it's healing to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So universe is guiding me to tell you guys about this to help protect you with all these times and in your physical body as well, to use these things. Again, validate it yourself and talk to spirit, but also I want to share with you about this, that it was so delicious. But the one thing that I did do also before I drank it, I said, thanks God. And before I purchased it, thanks God for the best one, the best company, the best place, the best of everything we need with this. And if this is what's best and is going to help us, then we should get it and share it, right? And if not, then let me be free of that, right? Also, I said, thanks God for it being delicious. And it was amazing. It was really, really great. But it makes sense that it would help you from COVID and the shedding. Why? Because it's used for heart healing, right? Heart, cardiovascular, you know, circulatory, which is really, really awesome. And so everything lines up in earth world. So, you know, it doesn't matter what I say so much as where I'm saying stuff must line up in our physical reality or the events that happen. And we must also connect it with our heart and feel it. Right? Feel it. 110%. This feels right for me. This feels like the God's honest truth. And you don't know if you can do that or what that is. Ask love that you do know. Ask love for the God's honest truth, right? So yes, that pine needle tea is great. I loved it. I'm really glad we're sharing it with you. But you can see all the metaphysical reasons. The Christmas energy, the Christmas tree, Christ energy, love, the purest form, right? All the things that it does. It has a lot of vitamin A in it. It also has some other stuff. Research it. It's really pretty cool. All right. So who else? Anybody else out here? Did you have a question, Jen?
No, I'm busy trying to share your stuff and having a hard time, so I'd be praying. So
all right, so thanks God for freeing us of that, and thanks God for getting all of our stuff shared. Thank you from love in the purest form to all the best places. And if you guys can share it, please do. Please do. If you feel it in your heart. Okay, anybody else out here? And then I'm coming back to you, Ray.
I want to pray Zach moves this week, so just pray for a good move. And whatever it is in me that is kind of like thinking everybody should know what I think and what I want and what I feel, and they should care, and all that kind of shit. Whatever it is that is, and then I don't communicate properly, and by the time I'm ready to communicate, I'm just not communicating well.
All right, so Steve is praying that, is asking for a prayer or prayer, basically energy work, okay? All right, that is gonna give him the best communication because he feels like he doesn't have great communication. And what was the other thing in like a one-line sentence?
Zach's moving into a new place.
Zach's moving into a new place, and all that Steve just asked for. Thank you, God, for these gifts for him of clearing, healing, change, and creation that is best for him with all of this, and for his son, Zach, from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. Thank you for these gifts in our souls, and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is. And for all of us here, we also desire it in the best way, from love, for us and all for something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. So by doing these prayers here, when Steve comes and he asks for things to be removed, you guys can do that as well, right? And then you also learn how to do this cool shit, because these are the tools that are going to bring you into your best lives, your best dreams, your best happiness, your best releases, and through these really difficult times right now. And of course, sometimes it's going to be really great, and sometimes it's going to be really rough, because you don't live lifetimes without accumulating a lot of toxic and stuff to deal with. Usually not. Okay? All right. So anybody over here?
Yeah, we have a few questions to get ready for.
Fantastic. Yep.
Sarah Sutra is asking if there has been major energy shifts as of late, and will the darkness end its reign here on Earth?
The darkness is going to lose. The first overall. And when I say lose, if you look at it in a battle of dark and light, right? Darkness can't win because love wins. Love wins every time. So ultimately, light and shifts are happening. It's all happening. It's all coming in. People are changing. And you can see this by the actions out here in Earth World. More and more doctors are speaking up. More and more teachers and people and families and parents and groups of people are acting up. You know, if you watch on some of the news programs or things that they put on the internet, right? You'll see stuff come up on Twitter too. Twitter is a pretty good example too to find out what's happening in Earth World from real people instead of propaganda and bullshit. You know, a lot of stuff they'll take off of there, but you'll get some kind of scope from just, having a Twitter feed for you. Doesn't mean you have to get all involved in it, but you get a great way to see what's going on out here. That's one of the things universe has guided me to get in touch and find out what's really happening in the world, because you can have people from all over the country who have a different Twitter feed, and they'll say, like, when all the troops came in on the, what was it, an inauguration in DC, like, I knew about it first through my Twitter feed, right? They were like, hey, there's all these National Guard troops out here in DC with the inauguration of Joe Biden and stuff. They're like, there's all these troops here, and everyone's like, why are these troops here, And there was a lot of weird energy, but the bottom line is I found out first through the people, and the Twitter feed is a great way to do that, right? People be like, hey, here's what's happening here. Anybody else see this? You know what I mean? And it's really cool because ultimately people's hearts, they want to be in the right space. They want to help people, right? Yes, the energy is shifting, but the Twitter feed is a great way to get the news without, and you can always ask too. Ask people what they see is going on out there, right? Also, Facebook and social media, while they'll tailor and cut off a lot of people and a lot of things, you're not going to get that same scope of energy that you do on the television feed that is all propaganda and toxic, Remember, there's truths in everything, and it's up to you to find them in your heart and feel them and ask God, ask love where they are and what they are, and if this is the God's honest truth. So that said, let me just see, you were asking about dark energies. Ultimately, God wins, and it is happening, and people are standing up and they're doing the right thing left and right. This show is part of that, right? And whether you agree with shows like, I don't like to promote other people, but I know Tucker Carlson is also working for change with this. It doesn't mean I have to believe everything that he does to see the truths in his stuff, right? Or a lot of his stuff, or any other shows like Laura Ingraham, right? Doesn't mean I'm into Fox News. In fact, I don't even have cable right now, right? But I do have it on a little thing, like an app on my phone, and once every 900 days when I get to have 5 minutes and watch it, I do, all right? Guided by spirit. Sometimes I'll find really good information there, all right? But it's by what is happening, not just over here on the TV. You can see a lot of propaganda, but you'll see truths as well, and you'll feel them as well out in your reality. Who is doing what to help people to change the world? Who is standing up and talking to people? The mothers and the parents are standing up, right? The different states are standing up. Ron DeSantis is one of those. Now, I'm not really, employing anybody politically. What I'm doing is I'm telling you the truth about what is happening. You're seeing people go against what the toxic is. They're going against the control. They're going against socialism. They're going against not having freedom. Do you see what I'm saying? Did I say that right? Not having freedom? Yeah, I think I said that right? Yeah. Okay, so so it's in your reality, and it's going to keep on growing and growing. In fact, from what I understand, there were some segments too that I saw that were literal sports games yelling, not nice stuff, like fuck Joe Biden, right? That's what they're saying. Right? But the truth of that is that gives you a reflection of how people are really feeling in the earth world. When you watch the news clips of Jen Psaki or Joe Biden or your town governor, or see what's going on, see what they're saying, and look at the responses of people on Facebook, because it's telling you it's happening. As well as the challenges that you are going through right now are telling you that it's happening too, right? Like me with my health. I'm like, okay, God, where do I go from here? And then Jesus, take the wheel, right? When I'm just like, holy shit, I don't know what to do. Let me know what to do, right? Jesus, take the wheel, right? So you're going to see this stuff in your personal life and all across the board in the collective consciousness as well. yeah, so, and in the comments people are making, because I saw an interview with Joe Biden, and there was all these comments that tell the truth about what the people feel, how, and then you also see people who employ the dark side, right? They're toxic, or they came in here to be in that space and do this journey, right? You're going to see that too. And the truth is, right, in an enlightened space, I don't have to, to see truth in you. I don't have to totally agree with everything you say, and I can still be copacetic and harmonious with you and come from love without having to give you any of my energy. I can still honor and respect you, right? Without being a dick, right? Really, or toxic, right? So I don't have to be that guy, right? Or that person, or girl, right? So the answer is, it's actually... things are actually happening and turning. But again, in Saturn's Earth world, it takes time. It takes time. The progression in Earth world is slow, so it's happening. Just keep the ball rolling. I feel like, it's going to keep going. And think about what you're doing and what you're praying for and what you're asking God in love for, because you create the greatest world, right? Just like when Donald Trump was just came in to be president, right? And I've talked about this many times, right? There was some kind of group that somehow I got into, and I didn't know it. It was a hate Donald Trump group, right? And I was like, so they were all commenting on how fuck him and fuck this and fuck everything and he's a douche and all this crazy shit, right? And I was like, if we all came from love and asked God that he would be, or ask love that he would be the greatest president for us, then we can change this and do this now and let him be that, right? And thanks God for that for us. And you can change how you feel about it. Ask love for him to be the best person, the best job. And they were all like, you know what, Lynn? They didn't even say, you know what, Lynn? They were like, fuck you, Lynn. And I was like, no, fuck you, because that energy goes back to them the second they hate, the second they're toxic, you see. So, but you and me have all the power through this to create, through this meaning working with love, working with God, being in our heart spaces, to change everything that's happening out here through prayer, through all the stuff we do today, and in our personal lives. The more we are in alignment with love and work from love, the more these changes keep getting ushered in, the more people stand up, the more you support people like me, meaning not necessarily financially. If you can donate, great. But what I'm talking about too is, what are you doing to support the cause, the freedom cause, the changes of the world, to support love? Ask love what to do. Ask love how to do that, right? And also, it doesn't mean you have to do really big, great things or have a show or do like Tucker Carlson does, right? Where are you doing this every day in your life, in your heart, and being in your heart, right? And from love for you first, as well as doing great things out here, right? Guided by your heart, right? So just being in your heart space raises the vibration of the planet and continuously does so from love, and creates the environment and the changes that you want to happen from love. So anytime you get discouraged, ask love to clear it out of you. Ask love to free you from it. Ask love for the best way to be and the best of everything in place of this from love. And thank you, God, for that for us, and the best way for us and all, or something better. But the more we all pray, prayer is energy. Words, thoughts, emotion creates. You creating this new world. You are. By not only just that, by what you do in Earth world. The example that you set for the whole world. Okay? Everybody got that? Yeah. All right, so who's next?
Tammy says she misses you.
Is that Tammy Rowan? Oh, I love you, Tammy. I miss you too. I hope to see you soon. Thanks for coming too, girl. I know you're like me. You got a lot going on. And you know what, Tammy? You're great at it. We don't take enough time to kind of, I don't want to say like thank ourselves, but be proud of ourselves, because we do so much and we kind of dismiss what we do. And that's about loving ourselves, saying, hey, I did a great job. Like just Rachel helped me the last bunch of days, and so did my whole family, really, when I'm going through these health crises, right? And really it's awesome. So thank you, Rachel, and thank you everybody who has been part of this journey with me and who helps me, because this is what we're learning. We're learning how to love, how to see things differently. We thought we loved before, and we do, and we were at a different space of love, but we're growing in that space of love. We're learning to value each other. We're learning to be there for each other, to have faith for each other, and strength that we never even knew that we had, and also faith in God. Faith in love, right? This is what this is all about. This whole transformation, right? This is all part of the big deal that's going on. So thank you for coming, Tammy, and that's for everybody as well.
Tammy says that she uses your prayer every day and God always shows her the truth.
Thanks, Tammy. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope everybody heard that. Tammy said she uses my prayer every day, and the work that we do every day, and she says, and it works, you know. So thank you, Tammy, for your support. Thank you. All right. So what else we got, Ray?
Marlene Budnick is asking what exactly Mercury in retrograde is. She says that she hears so many people talk about it, but she doesn't understand what it is, and she has some confusion about it.
Okay. All right. Right now, there's a whole bunch of planets in retrograde. All right. Anytime people talk about the planets, they're talking about, depends on whether they're talking about it metaphysically, meaning, there's so many variations of it metaphysically. There's the galaxies, there's the sky. When you walk outside, that's an earth world, right? The stars in astronomy, right? All right, so that's one way to look at it, right? Where they document the stars and the galaxies, and you learn, and the planets, right? And they work with our environment. All right. So they are actually the catalysts in astrology. So astrology is all hooked up to the galaxy and all that is God. It's basically the catalyst in the sky. It's what you would call the galactic center of all that is God or love, right? Is the sky, right? And the planets create your reality. Meaning you created your reality first, but the planets are the catalysts in the grand design of everything that is God, that creates certain things to happen, things for you to clear, things for you to look at in you, things in your reality that are coming in. But it's all in design of your soul's mission before it comes into Earth world. So it's your soul's journey. It's kind of like if you thought about in Earth world, a contractual agreement in Earth world of your soul with universe or God. Your soul calls all the shots before you even come in here. Your family, your friends, your illnesses, your wellnesses, your unwellnesses, your spiritual journey, your jobs, your careers. Your soul calls that in, right? Guided by love. As soon as, if you thought about it, sign on the dotted line for like a new car, right? It's kind of like that in earth world terms, but it's an agreement with love and universe, with your soul or God, right? It's an agreement that is your journey in this destiny, and the planets, which is astrology, that works with that, right? So, and that is the catalyst, both in the collective, which is the whole world and all that is God in this reality, right? The collective, right, which is in this reality here on Earth world, right? And also, it's part of all that is God, right? So the collective is here. It's the energy of the planet. That's the collective energy, right? And the people, okay? So you say the collective. This energy is all part, and the stars, the astrology, is what we use as a system of formula of God or love that's in written earth world writing, just like when I said sign on this contract or this dotted line for your soul's destiny, right? And that is the catalyst that ushers these things in our souls in to happen, right? Or our actions. But we've already agreed to this before we came in. So when people say, oh, I didn't sign on for that. Well, you have 102 different paths that you can take at any given time with God or love energy. All right. All of us do this, right? Have this, right? So what happens is something happens in the grand plan, the grand design of all that is the highest form of love that is always the best for everybody, regardless of whether you think of it as being that or not. Love is everything and knows what is best for everybody. And this love energy calls the shots, and we all come in and decide whatever galaxy, whatever planet, whatever mission we have. We all decided that before, but it's all in alignment with the energy of universe and all that is, right? Meaning all that is love or God, right? And we are all part of that energy. So what it does is, instead of being triggered, you could say it triggers the things to happen to us. It triggers the things to activate, right? Just like the other day, what happened is I ate some food. Actually, I didn't eat some food. I've been having all these health challenges, and I woke up in the night and my face was all swollen, and I was like, holy fuck, what is wrong with me? My lips were like, I thought I was like, it's funny, but it's not really funny, like a Kim Kardashian, Botox job, right? So I had an allergic reaction to something, right? And it was a fucking nightmare, right? But of course I didn't sign the dotted line and say, oh, I want this, right? But universe, right, it's in those 102 paths that I can take depending on what my journey is with free will. I choose, but there's infinite ways that I can go down, right? Because that's the nature of free will, and at any given time I can change that, right? So it's a complex system, but it's really fascinating. So when you ask me what Mercury retrograde is, right? It's in the planets, in the stars. Mercury is a planet in the galaxy, in this Earth world, right? In Earth world, let's say galaxy, right? Because we can see it here, and that's what brings it in here, right? And it's in astrology, right? So the planets basically activate the stuff that happens in your life, but it also works in conjunction with everything else that is God in the collective, okay? And in these times, what's happening in the planets affects all of us, okay? So last week, I think we talked about looking up certain placements in astrology to see what's coming into the future. Like, is darkness going to win? Is light coming in? Because you'll find in there that you can find, whether there's going to be disease and famine and breakdown of governments, and everything that's happening out here is in the stars, in the written word, right? And it's really made pretty easy by universe. You can just Google any of the aspects in astrology in the collective, and what's happening in the stars now will give you insight, like a psychic reading, basically. But it's definite in which that is God, okay? So when I say that, in other words, you'll see it happening right here in Earth world reality. So when people say to me, oh, astrology is bullshit. No, it's not. If you really get into it and take a look at it, it is the grand formula, just like it works with the Akashic records, that everything goes together. Every system of God is like a giant puzzle and hooks together and comes together and works together. Which is the same reason as no matter what space of God that I'm in from here to here, right, all my teachings will come in alignment with whatever space of God I am in, and they will hook in like a puzzle for the best understanding from love for all of us. It's really fascinating. So all of that explained, Mercury retrograde, thanks God for the God's honest truth with all of this always. The best way to explain it, communicate, understand it for myself and all is basically, it's an illusion about how the planets, as a general rule, before I get into this and talk more about personal with Mercury retrograde, they're also telling me that I need to explain one more thing. And that's whatever perspective of God that you're in, is how your interpretation happens. Okay? So when I go online, or you go online, what's her name? Who I'm talking with? Do you remember?
Marlene.
Who is it?
Marlene.
Marlene. Okay. So Marlene, when you look for different astrologists and what they're writing or what they're saying about Mercury retrograde, right? Every one of them is in a different space of God. So one is here, one is here, one is here, one is here, right? Just like people, right? Just like spiritual teachers. We're all on different paths, on different journeys, at different vibrations. And the earth world is changing vibrations simultaneously. Basically, we're living in the earth world dimension, but almost like multi-dimensional spaces within ourselves, right? This is what's happening, and this is the best way they're explaining it to explain to you, to everybody here, right? And we're all in these multi-dimensional spaces within ourselves. So, and this is why people can't hear us with the communications, right? Or we're having a hard time communicating, as well as, Neptune being in Pisces fucks up everything as well, in terms of delusions, thinking we said things that we didn't say, or, didn't hear something that somebody else said, or aren't paying attention. I mean, it's all kinds of crazy in these times, right? And it's all with the crazy chaotic Plutonian and energy and all this different kinds of energy, right? But going back to the vibration of every person, right? You can have a psychic person tell you that, here's what's going on in your life right now, and then you can go to somebody else and they'll tell you something completely different, because it's based on the space of God that they're in, at the vibration that they're in, and what they're picking up on in their own personal energy as well as yours, because it interrelates, right? So remember this when you work with somebody. The purer the God channel, the purest God channel comes from what we do. It's working with love as much as possible all the time, right? You can be a psychic or a really gifted astrology person or astronomer or scientist, right? And you can channel this information, absolutely. But your infinite wealth of wisdom and knowledge always comes from what we do and teach here, working consciously with God and love all the time as much as possible. So no matter how great you are, right? So no matter how great Steve Jobs was, because everybody knows he's one of my faves, right? Right? Doesn't mean he was the greatest person in all aspects of his life. I mean, he's a person too. He has challenges, right? So, but when I say Steve Jobs, right? he went also on a type of spiritual track, right? And his mission was to channel the iPhone, was to channel and bring you all this technology and these amazing gifts to Earth world, right? That's a priority, and all the other things that he did with that on his soul's mission and purpose, right? So this is the space that Steve Jobs is in. All right. So let me just get back to this for a second. I'm just going to take a sip of water because we're talking about so many different things, but they're all interrelated. When Steve Jobs channels that, right, all this cool shit, imagine what he could do if he worked consciously with universe and talked to God all the time. If you think that he did amazing things in the way that he did them, which he did, absolutely, right? Because we're all amazing. We're all part of this God energy. It happens all the time. But when you work consciously, knowingly, with universe or love, then you have even more power, infinite power. You have the galactic center, which is right in astrology. I think it's like 23, 24. It's like between 23 and 26 degrees in Sagittarius, all right? Wherever Sagittarius is in your chart. Like my Sag is my rising, so it's in my first house. And therefore, that would make sense that I would teach God, right? Or teach love, or teach universe, or teach and do what I do, right? Because that's has to be in my chart somewhere. Okay, so this said, if Steve Jobs did this, wow, he could be even more incredible. And that's not to diminish anything incredible that he is, right? But this is true with spiritual people, right? So the more they work with God, the more they work with love, the greater space of God and love that they're in, the more information they're able to take in and have access to. Because your toxic shit and your belief systems or your unwell energy, right, that you can bury in your soul, your mind, your spirit, everything that is the space of your soul that you are, right? That stuff stops you from getting the greatest information and being your greatest you at whatever it is, right? So remember that. When you go and you get a reading with somebody, that they are in the space of God that they are in. And if your soul connects with them, you are somewhere in alignment with that space, right? So if I'm doing this work, every single one of you is interested in this work and has this Christ consciousness in your soul. Doesn't mean that every one of you is activated in that space. It means that, many of you will be, many of you will not be, right? But the more you work with God, the more you reach the highest levels of love, the more access to information and amazing fucking incredible things that you can do, because that's how it works. So this is why, though, you hear so much varying information about Mercury retrograde. There is truth in everything, right? So, the down low, hardcore astrologers who do everything by the book, right? And this is how it works. But there's infinite formulas of astrology, infinite God, right? God is infinite, right? So, but there's all different ways that people do things, just like scientists, right? There's scientists who really go by the book, right? And then if you look at the world today, how they're corrupting the science, right? Same kind of thing. Same kind of thing. Are you authentic in what you teach, as well as what formulas are you using to call it science, right? Or in astrology, what formulas, what systems are you using? But as an overall truth of God with Mercury retrograde, universe tells me that it's really an optical illusion, that the planet isn't really in retrograde. It is what they're saying is a misnomer, right? So like they say, 5 planets are in retrograde. We think retrograde means going backwards, right? But the energy is really about a revisiting. If you look at it with God, universe, love, and your spiritual journey of your soul, both personal and with the world. So it's going to be a revisiting of everything that has to do with those particular planets that are, I think there's 5 planets in retrograde right now. And Mercury retrograde comes in as one of the most planets that goes retrograde quite often, periodically. And there's usually a time frame for that, in the astrology. So I think what's funny is this Mercury retrograde goes out to about the 18th of October. But then there's also, right, a period afterwards and a period before where you will be feeling the Mercury retrograde. So like 2 weeks to before, 2 to 3 weeks before, 2 to 3 weeks after, depending on how in tune with source or God or love you are, how high you vibrate, how much you work with God, consciously, subconsciously, what your soul came in here to do. So that's how this information will come into you, depending on all these things, is how it would affect you. And also your understanding of it and the truth of how it works. So also you have to have understanding of astrology, and each of these people have their own understanding. And what I do is, I studied a lot of different astrology over the last 2 years, universe and beyond that, but this goes back lifetimes for me. And for many of you, if you're interested in the astrology, it's the same thing for you. You're tapping into that space in your soul. Something in the stars has activated it because it's time. It's time for you to go on new missions, open up new gifts, new things, whether it's astrology, numerology, writing, teaching, public speaking, there's 1,000,001 God formulas, doing the Akashic records, right? Whatever it is, doing medium work, being a psychic, having a gift shop or a spiritual shop, right? Having a healing center, doing healing work, right? Everything is reflective of your destiny and your journey and what your dreams are and what you want to do, of course. So, but remember, it's the space of God that you are in. And Mercury retrograde is a time period in astrology where, and there's debates about what the truth about all of this is whether it really goes backward, but really it's a metaphysical thing, is what universe tells me. And it's really the part of the design. It is also an earth world, but it is an illusion. It's an illusion, ultimately. All right. So, and when I say that, right, what they are also telling me is it is about revisiting past stuff. So the planet Mercury, right, is about your thinking, your communication, and there's lots of other things involved here. It depends on where your planet Mercury is, in what houses, and any aspects that are made to that on your personal astrology chart. And again, there are many charts, so it will be affecting you in many different ways, right? There's many different ways to do astrology, so this is why people come up with all these different solutions. But ultimately, the major things that people talk about all the time is don't sign contracts during Mercury retrograde, don't make any, serious commitments, don't expect people to show up on time, expect challenges in communication, so these are a lot of those things that happen, and technology kind of tends to go a little bit backwards, doesn't work right. So these are all things related to Mercury retrograde. So it's a time period where there's an illusion where the planet looks like it's going backwards, but energetically it's designed for people to revisit their shit and make different choices, work on their healing. So let's say on the first of the month, you decided you wanted to buy a new car, but then Mercury retrograde came in the second, and then all of a sudden you don't feel like buying it, and you don't know why, because it's not time, right? And it's your soul saying, do you really want this car? And it's guided or triggered by the energy of the retrograde, the energy of the retrograde, right, to give you the opportunity to say, do I want to do this again, or do I really want to get this car? And then you'll discover that 6 months ago you were thinking about buying a car, and there's the repeat. So it's things that are repeated, like every Mercury retrograde for a long time, as I clear the energy out with the things that I don't want when it happens. So if you don't want this to happen again, thanks God for clearing it out, that I'm going to procrastinate and not buy a new car, or let me do what's best for me, from love, with this. So you can work on this and clear it out and change it. So these are opportunities to say, do I want this car? Do I not? What's going on with me? What are my dreams? Where am I revisiting some of the old challenges? Like one time, many times in Mercury retrograde, I kept getting rats in my house, right? It was quite creep. But they kept coming in, landlord's not fixing the place. What do I want to do? Do I want to move out? Do I want to set traps? Do I want to kill the rats? Do I want to just poison them? How do I want to handle this? So these are all those challenges that come in. Just anything and everything, and you'll find that you're revisiting it again. And it's designed to help you make the best decision for you, be sure of your decisions, as well as do your spiritual work on it with the things that are in you, that are happening in your reality, that your soul is creating to get rid of, or change, or heal, or address metaphysically, right? So maybe you want to go on vacation again, but you remember, and it's Mercury retrograde, right? And you remember that the last time you went on vacation, it was a shitstorm because you didn't pray on it and change those things, and now you have an opportunity now to go on vacation again. And how are you going to change that so that your vacation doesn't end up where you're sleeping in a tent and it poured all night and your ground was rock hard? What are you going to pray on? You're going to pray on the best weather, right? The best tent, the best time, the best people, the best everything. So now you're consciously aware. So Mercury retrograde helps you in lots of different ways. Also, it helps you to be sure about the decision making that you want to make with this. So if you have more questions, and there's more stuff, you can also Google Mercury and everything about the planet Mercury. All right, it governs your third house. It governs Virgo and Gemini, thank you. And so look for your Gemini and your Mercury houses, right? So in my chart, Gemini is in my 6th, right? So that explains why I would be having health issues, because Virgo is about your health, right? So in my 6th house in Gemini, so I'm having all these weirdo symptoms because Gemini gets explosions of creativity. The energy of Gemini is all over the place, and then it's where there are 2 different me's, right? The one that's really healthy, and then the one that's not right now, right? So that's all part of how we work on it, right? We have these things that universe guides us to, these energies that are happening that we signed on before, right? And this is so we can heal ourselves. So it's always wise to take a look at what's happening and be consciously aware so we can live our greatest lives. And it gives us that opportunity. Once the work is done here in Mercury retrograde, we move on to new things, and new things come out. Like the reason I'm sick, right, and I'm having some challenges is because this has happened at other times in my life with other people, and it's a repeat of this, as well as it's part of the grand design with the South Node and the North Node and what's going on there for karma and to get rid of our past life stuff. And mine's in my 12th house and it's in my 6th house. My 12th house is about past life stuff, right, and much more. And my 6th house is about my physical health, right? So it makes total sense because one North Node is in my 6th house. That's I need this healing for my destiny. That's my North Node. My South Node is who I am and with the gifts I carry with me from the past. And it's in my 12th house, which is about past lives, right? So, and I'm just giving you a basic overview when we talk about this, but to give you the truth about God. Now, I don't do everything right down to the T in traditional astrology, meaning I'm guided by higher knowing. I teach everything God guides me to teach, but everything in astrology actually really does go along with everything that I'm saying if you do the research and you find out. And that's the whole thing that I was talking about earlier, how all the pieces connect like a giant puzzle of God. So if you that's why I call it God astrology. So it's about me working with God. So if I want to know the answer to something, and like with my health, where is my health deficits in my chart, God? So I ask universe, and then they show me where these things are. It's really fucking amazing. We have so many gifts that people don't even have a clue. And you guys are going to learn all about this because it's time. It's time. We can't sit here with this bullshit and people think, well, I have no power. I have no power. This is all your power. This is the power of the world. This is the power to change the world. And you guys and me and everybody who wants to do it, who's going to do it. And that's why I say share my shit. Share all of it. Come every week. Share it with your friends, right? And if you can donate, great. And if not, then share and do the right thing by me. Honor me. You know what I mean? What does that mean? That means if you feel good about what we do, share it with people, right? Talk to people, both in earth world communication and on the internet, right? Wherever you feel, from love. Okay, go ahead. I hope that answers your question. I know it was long-winded, but it was really cool because obviously universe, everybody here has all these fascinating questions, and subconsciously they want to know the answers. So when I answer long-winded questions, it's for everybody to get the God's honest truth about how things work, and you have all wanted to know this, so that's why it would come through, right? All these other details, but it also helps to explain and understand the whole picture, right? Not just one piece of it, right? I can say, oh, thank God I have this water, right? And it's a bottle of water, but then I realize, oh my God, it's empty when I really look at it, because those are more of the details. Got to know what the whole thing about what's going on, and before you can make a real assessment, right? How do you do that? You ask God for those answers. You ask God for everything. You ask love for everything to make your best assessments and understanding, and to get those things and the answers that you need. And the only way you can do that is by working with love as much as possible, and being in your heart is the first part of that journey, because so many people are not in their hearts, right? But that's these times, all right? So go ahead. Anybody else out here have anything? Spilling my water all over me. Shower time. All right. How about over here?
Yeah, actually, Casey Marie is asking, how does Mercury retrograde affect you if you have Mercury in retrograde in your natal chart?
All right.
Oh.
That's a good question. Thanks, God, for the God's honest truth. All right, here's the deal, Casey. This is why astrology, when they start putting it in a formula, yeah, there's a basic formula, just like Saturn's earth world and just like metaphysical formula. Law of God, law of universe, right? Law of God, Saturn's earth world, right? Law of Saturn, universal law is according to Saturn or earth world, right? So you have metaphysical universal law, then you have Saturn's universal law. And if you thought about astrology in the same way, there's all these rules and things that that go with astrology, but it's the main format of the plan, right? And that can be changed and is changed and has different messages for everybody and everything at different times, including everything in the retrograde, as well. So what this means is, right, every time I look at your chart, I can get a different read based on what I'm asking. It's kind of, there's something called a horary chart where you can ask questions and literally do a different variation of what I'm going to talk about right here, right now. Okay. And I learned so much of my astrology stuff from my beautiful and amazing daughters, Sophia and Madeline. They are just like little astrology gurus from lifetimes. They're fucking amazing. And we teach the classes and we work together, all of us, and it's really great. So I just want to say thank you to them for all your brilliance and all your sharing of so many of the formulas of astrology. And I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you. All right. So, and that's another thing. We need to honor the people who, love us and that do good things for us. Okay. So that's truth as well. Also, let me just see. I had to get back to your question. She was asking about the retrograde in reverse. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. The more that you work with love, or God or universe, the more you create your best destiny. Okay, so when you have Mercury retrograde in your chart, when you were born in your original natal chart, that gives you gifts and powers to work with the retrograde in reverse. So it's going to fit, meaning in reverse, meaning retrograde, reverse, work with Mercury in reverse, so to speak. In other words, when things are going backwards and things are getting crazy, you have a gift, right, to be able to deal with that because you were born during that time in the energy. Now, some people might say, oh, no, that will fuck you up. It can do both. It can do both. It depends on the space of God that you are in, right? And how your soul, subconsciously and consciously, and as well as you consciously with working with your whole entire self or soul, right? Use that energy, okay? So many times the Mercury retrograde in your natal chart, because here's the deal. There's also a subconscious, all right, chart, which is your natal chart, right? So, and there is many other formulas and aspects that are all intertwined in this that you can also use and work with in astrology. You can go back charts from past lifetimes as well. So it's really fascinating. Also, there's synastry charts. There is the horary chart where you can ask a question, kind of like a psychic reading from astrology. Anything else you would like to add, Sophia, that you might think of that I'm not saying here to explain more about astrology and the tools and gifts? Okay, thank you. All right. And if you get anything, let me know. Okay, so that said, you may notice that you don't have like a hard time in Mercury retrograde. It will create that a lot of times, right? But the higher you vibrate, the more you grab the bull by the horns, the more you work consciously with love, energy. It doesn't mean you have to do exactly in the way that I do it. Your soul has its own unique way of doing everything. My job here is to share this with you in the world. It's basically the Christ formula, right? And we all have this in us, in our souls, right? So you already have gifts from lifetimes, and you just have to ask to open these gifts. Thanks, love, for that for me. Right? So, that you have these gifts of the best Mercury retrograde, regardless of what happens, and you create your reality. Okay, so a retrograde for somebody who has it in retrograde in their natal chart can really be a good thing and a positive, well thing, but it can also be a detriment. Depends on the space of God that you're in at any given time, right? So somebody might say to me, oh, Lynn, does it work like this, or how does it work? It's a retrograde in my chart. Well, for this person, it may very well be a detriment, right? But it's really never a detriment regardless, because the universe is all about love and does everything in the best way. So if you're Mercury retrograde and you're having you have this Mercury in retrograde in your natal chart, and you're having a Mercury retrograde time period like right now, right? Your soul automatically knows how to handle it and does what it needs to do. Hold on a second. But there was something else I was going to. Thank you in this. Thanks God for bringing this back to me, right? And if you're having the challenges with it, then you can pray and clear and heal and change those challenges. And that's the whole idea of it, is to get you out of these spaces. Because the universe, no matter what, always does what's best for us, even when we don't understand that. Does that make sense to everybody? And thanks for your patience. I just have to sometimes get that information and And how do we do it? We ask. Ask and you shall receive, right? Okay. So, who's next? Ooh, dropping my water.
Joanne wrote in.
Yeah.
She wrote, hello, I like my job, however, I am feeling something is really out of sorts. Feeling as though I am under attack, people amplifying the mistakes that I've made, not looking at all the positive contributions I've made, and feels like a punishment is happening. Am I using my gifts at this job, or is there something more that I'm in alignment with? Thank you. Much love and gratitude.
Okay, Joanne, are you having issues now, or you've had issues all along, right? Or do you have issues periodically with these people, right? Because the bottom line is, you have to ask yourself, do I love this job? Is this the right job for me? Are these the right people for me, right? And if you feel like they are, then you pray and create your best reality and ask God for the best relationships with these people, the best work for this to be resolved from love, the best solutions, the best everything. That you are appreciated, that you appreciate you, and you clear your blocks that stop all this from happening. And you love your job. And if it's meant to be that this happens and you have the best of everything there from love, and that this is where you're supposed to be, that you stay there, and it's great. And if not, what's best for you happens regardless, and universe brings you the best new job or the best new destiny and jobs or whatever it is that you need from love that is best in place of this, and clear your blocks that stop that from happening, and ask God that you're happy no matter what happens. And thank you, God, for that for you and all of us, right? See, so you have the power to say, oh my God, I'm making myself crazy, just like me with my health. Oh my God, this happened. Oh my God, that happened. Oh my God, how do I address this? Thanks God for clearing this. Thanks God for changing this. Thanks God for doing this, right? Or thanks love. You have all the power to always work with this energy and change anything and everything in your life. So when you ask me this, right now we're going through a phase in the planets and within this earth world, right? Depending on where you are, there's different phases happening in different spaces, but you're going to see it across the board because this is about raising the elevation, the vibrations of love, and the energies coming in, light energies, raising the vibration of the planet. So let me just see here. With this energy, I'm just going to ask God to clear, heal, and change all this energy that is all of this. The best, clearest answer now, please, from love. With all this. Thank you, God, for that for us. Let's see. With this energy, all these changes and all this clearing and stuff, there is, let me just see. And your job, you're going to have to follow your heart first and foremost. I do feel you are on a new destiny, a new way to be, and your soul is leading you there. So the main thing is, I feel you're going to go through some changes, you're going to make some choices, and new changes and things are ushering in for you that are best for you. I'm just going to clear more of this energy here, ask God to clear this energy out, because I'm on medications right now, and they're like jacking with me, a little bit of side effects. So clear, heal, and change all that, God. Give me the best way to be from love, and let me be free of this now in the best way, and the best way to be from love in place of this. And thank you, God, for that for me. So that's what I do, whether I say it out here or internally. Any challenges I have, any things that come along where I'm not connecting, or I'm having a challenge over here, or I lose my train of thought, or, do you see what I'm saying? So whatever side effects I might be having with medicine, or, or whatever it is, I ask universe, clear, heal, and change this, but the best way to be, clear my blocks, give me whatever tools and gifts that I need. Okay, so with this job, I don't necessarily feel that you should change. We're all going through all of this, and I started to talk about one thing, and then I lost it, and this is all part of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to bring you back there now, because with what's happening in the world, we're all being challenged to be grateful, to recognize what other people are doing for us, to be grateful for anything and everything, because we live in a society right now and America is really well known for this, and it doesn't mean that it's bad. We have wonderful and amazing things, and right up to this whole COVID-19 thing, America was a super free country, right? But things were changing, and there were some challenges that were sending it in a different direction, right? But with this, all this that's going on in the world, right? America is about freedom and these changes. Hold on a minute. I'm just having a little bit of a hard time energetically with these pills. Thank you, God, for clearing this out of me now, please, in the best way for us to know something better. I apologize for this. So clear all this out, God. Give me the best way to do things from love, and clear all this out. Let me get through the show in the best way from love and address all of my issues and things that need to be taken care of as soon as we are complete with our job today. Thank you, God, for that for us in the best way for us to know something better. Okay, that said, I feel like there's time for you. You're going through this phase. Everybody in the world is going through this phase, and you have more time to pick out and change and figure out your job, and new jobs and new work is coming in for you. So sit tight, wait for it, talk to God. You're going through this whole thing. I feel like January, February, and March, things are going to change and new jobs are going to come in for you. Okay? All right. So thank you. And thank you, everybody, for your patience as I'm having these issues and challenges. Thank you. All right. So go ahead. Who else we got?
Julia Brubaker just said thank you for all that you do.
Who?
Julia Brubaker.
Julia Brubaker. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
And Laura also says hello and that she's grateful.
Laura Marapoli? Okay. Hi, Laura. Hope to see you soon, girl. All right. How about you guys out here? You guys have anything? Oh, Sophia does. What time you got anyway? So I just want to check the time. 8:30? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Soph. Absolutely. So Sophia has some work she needs to do from the back. Go ahead, Sophia, with your clearing.
I feel really frustrated lately. And I feel like it just keeps on getting harder. I know a lot of people in my life who are sick, and I don't know.
It's okay.
I feel like I don't have the will to do anything. And I know there's a lot of things that I need to get done. And I feel like I just feel like I have nothing left. I feel like.
In your life?
I don't know.
Because people are sick in your life? You feel like you have nothing left?
Yeah, and I just not exactly because of that. I just feel like I can't move forward. I don't really have the strength to do anything. And,
Okay.
I don't really know how to put it. And this is weird.
Okay, so Sophia's saying she's having a hard time in these times with the strength to change things. She doesn't feel like doing anything. I'm going to chuck you the lavender oil because this will help you release that. Do you see what I'm saying? You just put a little bit on your wrist. Again, quality lavender oil, like Young Living, real essential lavender oil, like the good stuff, the best stuff. Could you take that and just bring that back to her so she can put it on her wrist, please? Yeah, because that's really going to help you release all this stuff, and then we're going to do a prayer on this, okay? An energy prayer. Clear, heal, and change all energy that is all of this in all of us, in our souls, and all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is. And in place of this, but the best way to be from love in the purest form, and this reality, any reality, and all that is, and let Sophia be happy no matter what. Thank you for these gifts for all of us, and Sophia, in our souls, and all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, in the best way for us and all, or something better. And thank you, God, for that for us.
Thank you, God, for that for me.
Yeah. Okay. And the cool thing about tonight's video too is, like when you see me have challenges, right, with the medication and my thinking and the side effects of medicine, again, I'm a human being. We are all people first, no matter who your spiritual person is. And it's important because we have to connect to each other from love, like in real world, right? Real world. Like, you know, you see TV shows and you know, everybody's dressed up and they have this thing about how they should look and all this stuff. But then they lose the essence of who they truly are. And that's what we're going back to in Earth World, who I am, right? Who you are. And it all connects with your spiritual journey, all right? And the Earth World people that we are from a place of love. And these are those times. This is where we're going back. So while people think we're moving forward with Uranus and technology into 2022 and beyond and the new age, right? What they're missing is that doesn't mean the old world beliefs are going to be thrown out. There's a lot of truths in Saturn's Earth World that must remain. Honor, respect, integrity, love, caring, gratitude, empathy, compassion, right? All these things, right? Wisdom, right? All right, and being authentic in who you are, truth of love, right? Freedom, right? So all these things are the new earth world, right? And all these things are not in the way that they used to be, and they're all going to be the best that they can be for everybody into the future. And it's not in the way that people think, where it's intellect and science, and it's going to be in not that your new things aren't going to be invented, they absolutely are, but it's all going to be in alignment with love, and people are going to be reconnecting, being good to each other, having faith in each other, being grateful, being thankful, all of these things. So I just wanted to share that with you too, because the universe is guiding me to share that, because it's about connecting with people once again, not phones, not technologies, but getting back to the basics of hey, you're my friend, and earth world touching, communication, friendships, physically doing things, right? And because why? Because that's real life, real time, real God. Do you see? This is all part of it. But that is the original formula. So, but you're going to integrate all of this, and this new world is coming from a higher space of love, and it doesn't happen when my machine is my best friend. Do you see? Yeah. Like my phone, you know. All right, so go ahead.
Teresa Courtney Lloyd would like a fiver.
Hey, Teresa. Your intuition was on this week. I did have some challenges. I saw that you were like, I noticed you weren't posting as much. Yeah, you were picking up on it. Cool job. That's great, because you were connecting to your intuition. So great job. Also, thanks for coming and supporting us. We're super grateful. And let's see, you would like a fiver. Can you send me out her birthday? Oh wait, I think I know when that is. September. I think it's September 13th or 12th. But it's around that time. Okay, I'm going to ask what's going on with Teresa in these times. What's the best guidance, gifts, love, energy, tools, wisdom for her? I don't know if you're coming down here for our Halloween party. It's going to be on Saturday the 30th. We're having a Halloween party. If not, there's something about a party. You may be doing your own Halloween party. There's something about apples and dipping apples in cider and vinegar and planning events. So I'm not sure, but I feel like, either one of these things you could do is when I say I'm not sure. In other words, ultimately it's up to your soul. It feels like you'll either be coming here to do the party or visit us for the Halloween costume party and dinner and events. And I think what time is it on Saturday?
7:15, 7:30? 7:30, October 30th.
Okay, it's at 7:30 p.m. on October 30th here in our newest space. And that's in Virginia Beach. Everybody's invited. It's $50 a ticket, just heads up. But there'll be $300 gift certificates, and it's an astrology party, astrology-themed Halloween party. Okay, and let me just see. So there's something about you, excuse me, my nose is having a moment. There's something about you either coming to this or having your own party, because there's something about a lot of children. So you may do both, you may do just one or the other, but you're a real go-getter, and I feel like so that's coming in, and there's some excitement around that.
She said she's trying to make it.
Yeah. So there's excitement. Again, the costumes, right? The costumes that everybody's going to have are going to be astrology themed, but you can just put it out there, like be creative with it. Okay, so I do see that happening. It'll be a great vacation for you, or a great trip. I do feel like it has to do with 3 days, like a 3-day trip. That weekend, everybody's invited who wants to come. There's going to be dinner. I'm not sure if it's going to be like Italian or pizza or whatever. There's going to be snacks and candy. We're going to do a psychic gallery. It's going to be kind of exciting, like a dark energy psychic gallery, but it's really not dark energies. Everybody understand that? We're just talking about like metaphysical, like ghosts and haunted houses and medium work, but you could ask anything. That's the whole idea of it, is just to get people to celebrate and have fun and have a great time, guided by highest knowing of love. All right. Okay. So what else comes in for Teresa too? I don't know if your husband, do you know where the tissues are? Any chance? Oh, there they are. Thank you. All right. So I don't know, Teresa, if your husband, I don't know if he has something planned, or you guys have something planned for like a holiday, or it feels like January, February, March of next year, like a winter holiday. I might have just blown this out of the water. It might have been a secret plan. I don't know if you're planning it, but I feel like there's going to be some kind of vacation holiday, like a snow ski trip. It might be an Aspen trip. It might be a snowshoe trip. It just feels like some kind of really nice time, kind of like what you just did in Romney, just a little bit different. Let me just see. So that's coming in for you. It feels like a good Christmas holiday. There is a propensity for some challenges during the Christmas holidays for you. That has everything to do with family bullshit, and you know that. That's what they say usually, your biggest challenges come in the holidays. Why you love the holidays, all of us, it's like, oh my God, Uncle Steve is coming, or Bill or Bob or somebody's coming, and their wife is a bitch, and oh my God, do I have to be dealing with this, and why do I have to be nice with them? That's all the stuff we got to clear, heal, and change in us, or behooves us to, right? But the holidays are always challenging in that way for family get-togethers, right? Everyone's like dreads the holidays, right? So I feel like there's going to be some of that in there for you. But overall, it's going to be a great holiday season, because what I love about your energy and your personality is it's awesome. And you totally reflect power, and you don't take any bullshit, and you're a solid earth world girl, and I love that about you. And that's in that Virgo September 12th, 13th energy that you have, right? You don't take any bullshit, and that's awesome. But that's that's that power through energy. A lot of really great energy in there. Anything else for Teresa? It's going to be a good season the next several months for you on a personal level. There'll be changes going on in Earth world and craziness. It's going to be interesting to see what plays in the cards of the collective in the whole world, and what comes in and what happens, right? But, ultimately you have God, you have all the gifts and tools you need, and you're going to be fine. For everybody, we're all going to be fine. Okay? All right. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. Did she have any questions with that?
I don't think so, no. Nikki would also like a fact.
Nikki. Oh, I do see your friend coming in the future. I do feel like you still want to go over to France, your friend from France. This is Nikki Opera, right? Okay. It's funny because it's kind of the energy of the two things are going around in circles. Whether you go over there or he comes here. I feel like ultimately he's going to come here. I feel it's too dangerous for you to go over there. Let's see. So that's kind of what's coming in, but it circles around, and there may be multiple trips coming into the future. There is money tied in and attached or coming in with this as well. There's going to be a lot of fun times with you. I also see your photography business really coming out and opening up, and great things happening there as well. You're really going to get that on the road. One of the big challenges you have with your Leo energy is impatience. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I want to be successful already. That's a Leo thing. And you really are successful. You really are. You got a lot of wonderful things in your life going for you. And universe is reminding me to tell you that there's many beautiful and amazing and great things about you. So that you're reminded of that. And that's really for everybody. All this beautiful and amazing is for all of us, Okay, so what else for Nikki? There's something about horses or pony rides coming in, so you may be doing that, or some kind of Halloween festival for your daughter. I do feel you'll be coming down here for the party. All right, God. They're singing some song from... what's that song? They're going, no, 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 no. Yeah, 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 yeah. Who sings that? What is that song? It's. I feel like that song is going through my head, and I feel like that's like for the plan for the decisions of whether you're coming down here or not. It's a song where you're going back and forth. Maybe some of you guys can Google that. But that's what universe will do. They'll put a lot of songs in my head to explain what's going on with people, what's going on with us, in these times. So the Halloween party, I do feel like you're going to be here for that Halloween party. And any unwell, which is all of this right now, within all of this, and is toxic, clear, heal, and change it all, and all of us, and our souls, and all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is. And in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is, and thank you, God, for that for us. Okay. All right, so who's next?
Can I ask personal clearance?
Hmm?
I feel like I've been struggling a lot with a lack of faith and a lot of anger at God triggered by fear of loved one suffering. And I feel like that Native American lifetime we were talking about earlier, I feel like in that lifetime, I think I was so angry and so sad that parts of me turned cold. And I just
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Rachel's having a whole bunch of stuff that she's talking about right now that she wants to clear from past lifetimes and worrying about, people and her God connection and not trusting the universe with everything and that everything is going to be okay. So we're going to ask God now to clear, heal, and change all of this and all of us that is this energy. And in place of this, but the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality and all that is. Thank you for these gifts in our souls and all we are, be, say, do, and create and all that it is in the best way for us and all or something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. And what I like about what you just said and how we just did this is that you don't have to pick out one thing, right? You can take the energy of all of this and just clear it out. So everybody can do that. So you don't have to say, well, I want this to happen, I want that to happen. You have to sit here and figure it out. If there's toxic going on and you understand and can speak it or feel it and know it or hear it, right, that's going on in you, whatever is going on in your reality as well as all this, anything attached to it, you just clear, heal, and change the energy in it. And that's what we just did for Rachel. And we all have these gifts. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, how about you, Mad? Do you have anything? Steve, anything you want to talk about? No?
Can I have a clearing?
Who is that?
Molly.
Yeah, so Molly wants to do a clearing. All right, go ahead, Molly. What you got, girl?
Okay, I want to clear any anger. I want to clear any annoyance. I want to clear any of me not knowing the truth, me not seeing the truth, me not hearing the truth, me being skeptical, me having any low vibration with people in Earth World, and me having a fear that they're lowering my vibration. And just to not be like my dad or my mom and be the healthiest places in them that I can be. And also me allowing myself to be with my soul family truly, and clear any wildness that's unhealthy in me.
All right, so I hope you all, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, Molly came with a whole list. Thanks, Molly. All right, and there was a lot going on in there. And in the future, what I want to talk about is how we ask and what we're asking for and the way we say things, because that plays a really big role in the answers and what happens literally or manifests in our reality when we do this work. So I'm going to I hope that you all heard what Molly said in her list, because it was a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to ask God that you did. And if you didn't, we're just, either way, we're going to do this big clearing prayer on all of this to clear, heal, and change all this energy. That is all that Molly just requested for her and all of us. All that is all this. Clear, heal, and change it all, and put in place of this the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. Thank you, God, for these gifts in our souls and all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, and in the best way for us and all or something better. And thank you, God, for that for us.
Thank you, God, for that for me.
Okay, what else do we got?
We got more on mine.
Okay, great.
Laura Mirabli would also like a
Fivers!
All right, so Laura would like a $5 as well. The $5 is a 5-minute reading about what's going on in your life, what's coming in. Laura, you too, I feel like might be at the Halloween party, and I feel like Tiara and Jacob might come too, and I think that would be really cool. Would really love that. I do hope it happens, and if that's what's best, so be it. Thank you, God, for that for us from love. So I do feel like you may be reconnecting with us at the party, because really this is about having fun, having a great time, being with your people, coming from love, and we're not having a good time in these days, so many of us. These are challenging times, and we're not taking the time out to have fun, to do things that we love, to be with the people we love. So this is so much about what this party is about, to have fun, to get creative, to come from love, to do different things. And that's what we should be doing in our lives, right? So this is part of what your soul is calling in for you. Anybody who's coming to the party is feeling that urge, as well as connecting with us on many different levels, or spirit too, on many different levels. I do feel, Laura, you're going to be asking about your dad again. Let me just see what else comes in. What else comes in for Laura? This is strange. I don't know if you're doing anything with bicycles and bicycle riding. There's something about a bicycle riding coming in for you with all this. meaning with your reading into the future. I'm not sure if it has to do with Jacob and Tierra, Jacob and Tierra, either like, it's almost like a fun family event, connecting with them, spending time with them. That comes in. Let me just see. There's also incoming family drama. These times are really challenging, so I do see some of that as well. There's going to be some drama into the fall for you, but if you pray on everything, you'll nip it all in the bud. There's some stuff, I think, with your mother's boyfriend, something along those lines. Excuse me a minute. Oh, crazy nose here. Thank you, God, for clearing this out of me. Okay. And thanks, God, for me getting a garbage can for right down here for my tissues. I'm like putting them on the floor. I'm like, I don't have any place to put them here live. So thank you, God, for that for us. Right? In the best way for us and all, or something better. Okay. So there's something about that, issues with that. Like the old boyfriend come in. There's also going to be some challenges possibly with death and dying and transiting, not meaning you personally, but other people in your life that are around you that you're really closest to. They're telling me you're still on the fence with the hot dog thing, right? You know what I'm talking about, the restaurant hot dog thing. There's still challenges there. And they're showing me you're balancing and trying to make things meet in the earth world with finances and all. And they want me to tell you that you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine no matter what, and that you got this. The main thing is to be in your heart and quit thinking about what the fuck, is going on, and start just asking from love and doing, right? And when I say thinking, you get in this space or you're thinking too much about it. They're saying, be free of that. Thanks God for us being free of that. So all of us from love, and for us working with wisdom in our hearts. So that's what they're directing me also to share with you, Laura. There's something about some kind of little dog, too. It almost feels like a pug or a Shih Tzu or a mix of something. There's some kind of dog possibly coming in for you. I don't know if Tierra's going to bring it home or somebody's going to drop it off to you, but there's something about a new dog coming in as well. And I feel like he's gray and white and has short fur. So interesting enough. So that comes in for you as well. All right, go ahead. Who's next?
Trey Ryder says hello.
Hi, Trey. Hope you're doing great. I see your live show too out there. Good for you. Awesome. All right. So what you got? Anything from Trey?
No, he was just saying hello. And there's no more questions from tonight. But I know we had one from last week.
Okay.
And Angela asked a question last week, and she's online tonight, so I don't want to answer that one.
Okay.
She was asking last week if we will have a new revamped government in the next 10 years.
Will we have a new revamped government in the next 10 years? Angela is asking this from last week. Great. So also, we want to try to get the questions answered that we didn't get answered from previous times, right? Or previous episodes here on our live. So let me just see. When you say the revamped government, the government is in the process now of being revamped. It's going to happen. What's funny is, so it's like a slow progression where this stuff is just going to keep coming in and keep coming in and keep coming in. Meaning challenges out here, more restrictions, more changes, more people rising up, and the same thing happening over and over and over and over and over and over. So in regards to government, where they're taking more rights away, more bills are being enacted, more people rising up, more people challenging. And at some point, yes, it will change in the next 10 years. But all the systems, like the voting systems, need to be revamped. All these things, like the whole system with the people, there can be no more lobbying, because this is, there's so many pieces that aren't truth of God from love that are just unhealthy for society everybody, for people, for everybody across the board. So it's definitely going to be revamped. It does feel like in the next 3 to 10 years, the next 3 years are going to be the most challenging. And then it's like the fourth year is 4, which is completion, God completion. So that would be the biggest challenges we've passed over for the most part. And then they'll be into the next 10 years. But this government takeover kind of stuff and all the toxic in the world that is related to all of this is there's going to be lots of repercussions in years to come from the COVID shots, the sicknesses, the rebuilding of government, the rebuilding of school systems. So the greatest energetic challenges are in these next 3 to 4 years. Okay, but they're going to go on into time, and this is a process. So there will be a new government. There will be great things coming. Like I'll tell you some things that universe has told me will happen, right? The lobbying has got to go. New government, you know how you do jury duty, kind of. There's got to be changes to the judicial system, the laws, everything. But you know how you have the jury system here in Earthworld? And the people volunteer, well, they're going to need that, or the people get sequestered to sit on a jury for the court system. They're going to need to do that within the government. So let's say 25 people from different counties are going to go and sit and listen to the people who, let's say that they chose to make the laws, but the whole system has to be revamped because right now nothing can be trusted in this world, because with technology and the way that they're doing things, it's not solid in Earthworld. So there's a great propensity for us to go backwards to the Earthworld systems, right? Meaning where you do a handwritten ballot, right? But it's validated and secured by in a particular certain way, kind of thing, so that they can't mess with the numbers and the electrical stuff, and all of that technology and stuff, so that they can get to the truth of God, right? About who won the vote. So the whole system is going to be revamped. It's going to happen, but there's going to be these changes where the people are literally going to be in the, let's say, in the Congress and the Senate, where they're going to be invited to sit in there, because the laws have to be for the people. So different states will come at different times with different things, so the people can enact these things in different ways for the best outcome, as well as the people will vote the people in, and there'll be different laws for corruption and different things like that as well. So these are just some of the things that are coming, just like the school systems. The school systems is going to be revamped to where it's going to be about being in your heart space, right? I remember when I was growing up, one of the reasons I fucking hated school was because I wasn't interested in half the subjects, right? But if they had astrology, if they had working with the universe, if they had love, if they had art, right? They had music, and maybe you are into science, and maybe you are into math, and maybe you are into history, right? And I personally love history, American history especially, right? So the new systems are going to incorporate so many different things, right? Both culturally for this country, but it's going to be from a place of love, honor, and respect, as well as not only is it going to happen there, but it is also in the school systems. They're going to have all new plans, but it's going to be about people, the kids, being able to take courses in schooling from their hearts, doing what they love, right? Because if you do what you love, you're not going to hate the schooling. You're not going to hate the education. So there's going to be branches of different education spaces for people to go in, right? So if you really want to study academics, your child can go to this school and maybe really in it and really gifted and really into science or really into being a doctor, right? But another child may want to really do, art and do his creative space and make beautiful pictures. And another one might want to do music. But there's still going to be a basic core foundation, like that they called in, what do they call that in college that you have to get? That's your basic core of classes. Do you know what I mean? Where it's mandatory.
Your core curriculum.
What?
Core curriculum.
Yeah, so they're going to have a core curriculum of learning to read and write, but there's also going to be different classes about making things work in life, like how to take care of your finances and bills and things like that. But things are going to change drastically and huge. So, but it's going to be about being in your heart, the new world. So these things are coming well into the new world. Same thing with the government. The lobbying is going to have to go, because then it creates money, lying, cheating, toxic, right? So excuse me, the more people are in their heart, the more these changes happen. Everything, is created with the best systems of love. So this is all bits and pieces of what's coming with the school systems too, and healthcare. And that's another reason this is happening to me, so that I can understand what's wrong or what's toxic in the healthcare world. You know, everything from medicines, insurance companies, hospitals, doctors. These people, so many, not all of them, but so many people are just not in their heart. And you can't do healing work if you're not in your heart, because you can't listen. You do what you want to do. The insurance companies take over in the medical field. All of this must be changed, right? So it's going to be an interesting new world, but it's going to create such incredible freedom from love, from love. All these solutions are from love. Just like when I started to talk about the schools and the different ethnicities, learning different histories, right? But not from a toxic space, from a positive, healthy space of love, learning different journeys, right? So there's going to be lots of neat things happening. There's going to be lots of challenges and lots of tough times as well for everybody. But, you know, this is why we're here and we teach this stuff, because you work with God or love, you change everything, you create everything, you create your best life and you live it from love. And this is all part of the destiny for the new world, okay? The new earth world, okay? Anyone else? Are we done today? Or?
No, it is 9 o'clock.
It is 9 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you can donate or share and or share our stuff, please do. And I just want to say thank you again for your patience while I'm a little under the weather. I was going to announce it today, and I'm like, yeah. So, but I'm a little under the weather. I'm working on getting this stuff straightened out with God, and I'm sure I'm going to have lots of learning to share with you, because every experience I have is Mars and Virgo in Earth World. I got to do it sometimes, most of the time, to understand it completely, so that I can share these experiences with you and help and change the world by sharing my experiences, because this is how we learn and grow, right? So one of the things the universe tells me is, like, people who read books about spirituality and just, you know, they have tons of wisdom, and they're like, I read about that, and I know about that, and I know about this, but Mars and Virgo is actually doing it. Are you really doing it? Because that's what matters, right? Because you don't really understand a fucking thing until you employ that shit in Earth World, until you're employing it in your life, right? So, and that's the God's honest truth. Like, I have no business telling you or guiding you from love about how to live your greatest life if I don't do it, if I don't share, if I don't know what it's like to live in Earth World and have examples that you can connect to, right? It makes it that much more harder, and I have no business doing it if I'm not actually living it and truly being that. All right, so thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope you had a great day and a great time, and we'll see you hopefully next Sunday. Do me a favor, though. Pray for me, please, and I will do the same for you. Best health from love, and thank you, God, for that for us in the purest form and for all of us. All right, have a great night, everybody. Thanks for coming.